Stop. 56% of Americans over 50 do not choose when they stop working. Their employer chooses for them. Of the people who get laid off after 50, 1 in 4, 24%, never finds another full-time job. Not because they are not trying. Because the hiring market in 2026 for a 52-year-old with 20 years of experience is genuinely structurally hostile in ways that the standard max your 401k and wait until 65 plan completely ignores. Here is what makes this specific to you. Right now, at age 48, there is a window. A real window. In finance, we call it a launch window. It has a specific open date and a specific close date. The decision you make inside that window is the difference between a retirement you designed and a retirement that happened to you. The decision is not should I save more. Every video tells you to save more. The decision is structural. Are you building an income machine that still works? If your employer decides you are too expensive next March, because the data says there is more than a 50% chance that they will. Stick with me for 10 minutes. The launch window is open. The planets are aligned. ProPublica did a landmark study. They tracked real workers from their early 50s through retirement. Here is what they found. 56% of workers over 50 are either laid off or pushed out through deteriorating conditions, or forced to leave for health or caregiving reasons before they intended to retire. More than half. Not unlucky people. Not people who made bad choices. The statistical majority of American workers who enter their 50s with a job they intend to keep. Among Americans aged 50 to 65, 14% were laid off at least once in a 10-year period. Of those who experienced a layoff, 24% never found another job. Not took longer to find one. Never found one. Of those who do find new employment, research shows they take an average 11% wage cut. You survive the layoff. You get back into the workforce. And you are earning 11% less. At the exact moment when you need to be saving at maximum velocity. Here is what this means. For the standard financial plan, the plan that says, stay employed for 17 more years. Max out contributions. Retire at 65. That plan has a single point of failure. It requires your employer to value you continuously for 17 more years. And the data says you have a better than even chance of being forced out somewhere in that window. The second thing working against you, I call it the invisible bill. The gap between when you stop working and when Medicare starts, age 65. Here is what health insurance actually costs in 2026. If you leave your job before 65 and you miss the income thresholds for ACA subsidies, the average benchmark marketplace premium for a 62-year-old, about $1,072 per month. $12,864 per year per person. Before your deductible. Before co-payments. Before any actual medical events. And here is the 2026 specific problem. The enhanced ACA subsidies that existed from 2021 through 2025. That had made marketplace insurance dramatically more affordable. Expired at the end of 2025. They are gone. The subsidy cliff is back. If your modified adjusted gross income exceeds 400% of the federal poverty level, roughly $62,600 for a single person in 2026, You lose all marketplace subsidies. Not some. All. Your premium could more than double. Compared to 2025. For the exact same coverage. This is not a hypothetical. It is a structural change to the cost of early retirement. That took effect this year. Right now. For a couple both retiring at 62. You could be looking at $2,000 to $2,400 per month. In premiums alone. Before the first bill. Before the first procedure. And medical inflation has historically outpaced general inflation. This cost grows. If you retire before 65 and start drawing from your traditional 401k, those withdrawals count as ordinary income. For ACA subsidy purposes, if you withdraw too much, pushing your income above $62,600, you lose the subsidies. If you withdraw too little, you cannot cover your expenses. The narrow band in between requires precision planning that most people have not done. The people who navigate this successfully do it by building Roth accounts. Because Roth distributions do not count toward modified adjusted gross income. They can draw from Roth sources to fund their lifestyle while keeping their taxable income low enough to retain ACA subsidies. That is not a trick. That is deliberate tax architecture, built years in advance. This is what I mean by a structural decision. The third thing working against your plan. Social Security. Here is the number. If you were born in 1978, your full retirement age is 67. Claim Social Security at 62. You receive 30% less than your full benefit. Locked in for the rest of your life. Wait until 70. You receive 24% more than your full benefit. Stack those two facts together. Workers born in 1960 or later can increase their monthly Social Security income by 77% by claiming at 70 instead of 62. 77% on a guaranteed, inflation-adjusted, government-backed income stream. You cannot buy that return in any legitimate market. The difference in maximum Social Security benefits between claiming at 62 versus waiting until 70. $2,212 per month. Every single month. For the rest of your life. What does the data say people actually do? More than 20% of newly awarded retirees claim Social Security the moment they are eligible, age 62. Less than 10% wait until 70. 9 in 10 working Americans plan to claim before age 70. 70% of them acknowledge they know waiting produces a higher payment. The knowledge exists. The behavior does not follow it. Here is what a Social Security trust fund cut actually means. For a 48-year-old making a claiming decision today, if you claim at 62, and the trust fund is cut by 23% around 2032, which would happen when you are 66, you would be receiving 23% less, on top of the 30% you already gave up by claiming early. That is not a hedge against trust fund insolvency. That is maximizing the damage from it. The fourth thing. That will quietly destroy a mathematically correct retirement. Sequence of returns risk. Two twins retire on the same day, with a $1 million portfolio each. Same allocation, 60% stocks, 40% bonds. Same withdrawal rate, 4% or $40,000 per year. The only difference: the year they retire. Twin A retires in January 2000. Twin B retires in January 2012. Twin A's first 3 years. 2000. 2001. 2002. The S&P 500 falls 49% from peak to trough during that period. Twinner's portfolio is getting hammered, while he is pulling $40,000 per year out of it. By the time markets recover in 2003, Twinner does not have $800,000 working for him. He has something substantially less, because he sold shares at depressed prices every quarter for 3 years to fund withdrawals. Twin B retires in 2012. The S&P 500 returns 32% in 2013 alone. His first year of retirement features a massive tailwind. Same average return over 30 years. Same withdrawal rate. Same allocation. Completely different outcome. Here is the answer. A cash buffer. 2 to 4 years of living expenses. In short-term bonds or cash equivalents. Not invested for growth. Invested for stability. The purpose is not to earn high returns. The purpose is to avoid selling growth assets at depressed prices. In the first years of retirement, this buffer cannot be improvised at age 63. It has to be part of the accumulation plan, years in advance, which means it has to be part of the decision you make at age 48. Meet Marcus. Marcus was 51 when his software division was restructured. 12 years as a senior engineer. Strong reviews. He had $220,000 in his 401k. And a plan to retire at 63. The day the layoff notice arrived, his plan became a fantasy. He was out of work for 8 months. The next job paid 18% less and did not offer a match. He never recovered the savings rate he had before. After the layoff, Marcus made 3 decisions that he had not made at age 48. 1. He started a Roth conversion ladder. While his income was temporarily lower, he converted chunks of his traditional 401k into a Roth IRA, paying tax at a lower rate. He was buying tax-free future income at a discount. 2. He opened a taxable brokerage account. Not for speculation. For liquidity. Assets he could access before age 59 and a half. Without a 10% penalty. 3. He built a buffer. 3 years of living expenses. In short-term bonds and cash equivalents. He called it his sequence buffer. If the market opened badly when he retired, he had 3 years of runway before he would need to touch his equity portfolio. None of these were complex or exotic. They were decisions that a 48-year-old should have made, and did not. That is why I am telling you this story. Level 1. The savings rate floor. In 2026, the maximum for 401k contribution is $24,500. When you turn 50. Telemetrize esto $32,500, including the $8,000 catch-up. People treat this like a nice-to-have. 5 years of maximum catch-up contributions, compounded at 7%, can add hundreds of thousands to your retirement balance. Level 2. Tax architecture. Build retirement savings across at least 2 different tax buckets. Pre-tax, traditional 401k. Gross tax deferred, but generates ordinary income on every dollar withdrawn. After tax, Roth. Gross tax-free. Can be withdrawn without triggering taxable income. This is income control. People with only a traditional 401k have zero income control in retirement. Level 3. Sequence protection. Build a cash or short-term bond buffer. 2 to 4 years of living expenses. Specifically intended to provide withdrawal runway in case markets are down in the first years of retirement. The purpose is not return. The purpose is to prevent forced selling of growth assets at depressed prices during the phase of retirement when portfolio damage is most permanent. None of these three things are complicated. All three require starting at age 48, which is exactly where you are. At the beginning of this video, I told you that 56% of Americans over 50 do not choose when they stop working. Here is the practical conclusion from that data. You probably have somewhere between 7 and 17 years of active employment remaining, but you do not know exactly how many, and neither does your employer. The system you build this year is what you will have, or what you will wish you had, at age 53. When the restructuring memo lands, the gap between have and wish you had is not a number. It is a decision. Here is what you will do right now. 1. Hit subscribe, because the algorithm will not show you the next video if you do not. 2. Calculate your sequence buffer. How many years of expenses you need in cash to survive a market crash in your first year of retirement. 3. Send this video to one person who says, "My plan is to work until 65. Tell them. Your employer may have other plans. The launch window is open. The planets are aligned. The decision is yours." See you in the next video.